Hey, it's Uncle Drew talking to you. It's the third episode of Freak Flag Fly, Freelancer Freak Flag. That's what the name of it. I'm forgetting. It's always a difficult time here at Freelancer Freak Flag Fly, because it's a complicated name, but it's all about, going with it, going with the freelancer life, the ups, the downs, the in-betweens. It's all good and can be better if you take some of my tips. If I could just ask you a little favor, it'd be really great if you hit the subscribe button down here. Also, would love to have your feedback, your comments, and questions at the bottom of this video or any of my videos. Much appreciated, and thank you very much. Now, today, I received a question this week in response to the videos that I've had out. Drew, I'm reading it, Drew, how did you become a freelancer? And so I thought I'd go back a few years and tell you exactly how that happened. Well, it also has to do with my international life. I'd lived abroad in Europe for a number of years and left to go back and live in the United States in 1997 and came back to Europe, to Hungary, in 2001. And I didn't have any work, but I thought, oh, well, I'm a radio reporter guy. I'm a reporter guy. I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to sell some stories. I'm going to pick up some strings, as they call them in the print world. Some, regular work with some, actually not print, some. And so when I got back in 2001, it was actually amazing the number of radio stories I was able to pitch, which means, writing kind of a treatment to sell an editor on the idea of the story that you would like to do. So I pitched a number of national public radio shows in the United States, and I sold them, let's say probably like a dozen. That kept me busy for a year or so doing radio stories. Anything from the sports show called Only a Game to NPR's environmental program called Living on Earth. I did a feature for Weekend All Things Considered, I believe, if I remember correctly. What else? Was I in Marketplace? Maybe. Anyway, it was an exciting time. Because obviously it was fun to be on national media, had a lot of people back home hear my voice, and it was a really positive thing, and felt like I was proving myself. Oh, I can do things with the best of them. I'm a big time radio reporter. It's not actually the case in some ways, simply because as a freelance reporter, it's very difficult because all the time you don't have somebody that trusts you. You have to pitch different editors. Many times they don't want stories from the same country or region, or like you do a big feature, let's say for Living on Earth, and then the next thing that they want from you is in 3-4 years. So it's not like you're going to be able to sell them stories all the time, especially from a small country or from a region of small countries. So that went really well until September 11th. Is actually really interesting because I had some print strings. Print, I guess you'd call it, was online, something for advertising age, and a number of outlets that I'd sold stories to after September 11th. Some of them folded, so they were, went out of business basically, and others, there was a big sucking sound because all of the budget went to selling stories in Central Asia or in the Middle East, thinking about Iraq and Afghanistan and stuff. So anyway, so fortuitously, that was the point at which a big multinational company, a friend at a multinational company, knew that his company was looking for a native English speaker to be their regional PR editor And I wasn't really looking for the job, but given the circumstances of making it more difficult to sell stories as a freelance journalist, I decided, maybe I'll give it a try. And the moral to the story is, give it a try. I didn't really like it that much at first, but it was really a great way to get my feet wet in terms of a wide variety of business writing, anything from press releases to editing brochures to writing brochures. We did texts for all kinds of online adverts, did recruitment videos, and wrote recruitment brochures, things like this. So anyway, begrudgingly, I started working for that company, and it turned out to be a wonderful thing and kind of broadened my horizons in terms of the things that I felt capable of writing about. So anyway, so that's today's little spiel about how Uncle Drew got into freelancing, and and that was my stint as a freelance reporter. So if you want to do it, I would suggest go somewhere where there's a lot of news. If you want to do freelance news reporting, if you're going to go to Europe, go to some of the big cities, go to Moscow, go to Berlin, go to Paris, etc. And poke around and talk to people in bars about interesting things that are going on in the society and things that you could report on. Okay, that's all for today. Uncle Drew talking to you. This is Freelancer Freak Flag, episode number 3. Köszönjük szépen. Everybody, have a great weekend and goodbye.